After having taught preaching for about 15 years, I've been always struggling with finding textbooks for my preaching courses, whether a first-year student or a graduating student. And I found that textbooks generally fall into two different categories, at least for preaching. Some textbooks focus much more on the hermeneutics or the interpretation of the text, while other textbooks focus more on the kind of the nuts and bolts, the how-tos of how to preach. And I've really had a difficult time finding a textbook that brings everything together in one place. And while it's always dangerous to try to say that one textbook has it all, I've really attempted in this book to bring both elements together, both the interpretive elements as well as the communicative elements. How do you interpret the scriptures, and then, in light of that, design and deliver sermons and communicate them for maximum effectiveness? It provides really a soup-to-nuts approach from the text all the way to the sermon. And so for pastors as well as pastors in training, it gives them a one-stop shop to think about, as well as think about the interpretation of the text as well as the delivery of the sermon. And so what I'm trying to do, is help preachers design and deliver sermons that will really help their listeners really be transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ. I think as a preaching textbook, this book offers a lot of unique elements. One way to say it is that it has some of the old and some of the new. And while this book does have some new ideas, it really carries on the tradition of some really old ideas, namely the kind of redemptive, historical, Christ-centered, biblical theological approach to scriptures, namely a Christ-centered, gospel-focused interpretation of the Bible. Because I actually believe what changes people, and I believe it's the good news of Jesus. And so half of the book really covers what's already been covered by many of my mentors and those who have influenced me, this kind of Christ-centered approach to scriptures. But it also offers something new. That is, I've been really interested in neuroscience and the implications of neuroscience to the way people perceive information orally, primarily through the ears as opposed to the eyes. And as you may know, as you perceive information or receive information to the ears, it's much more difficult to retain information and use that information in valuable ways. And so what I've been doing is thinking about ways in which neuroscience has implications to the art and science of preaching, and trying to find ways in which preachers can hone their craft in light of the new science that's coming out in neurology, etc. So this book, I think, offers this kind of unique balance of the old tradition as well as the new science in helping preachers deliver sermons, design and deliver sermons that will really have maximum impact for the glory of God.